right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, November 19th. We are filming here on Monday, November 17th. 1 week away from Thanksgiving, am I correct? Oh, yeah, about almost, yeah.
The 27th.
Right. By the time people are listening to this, they'll start drinking and going into Thanksgiving. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be so.
Thanksgiving is one of the most heaviest drinking holidays.
Right. Well, the Wednesday before, yeah.
The Wednesday before.
It's one of the biggest party days, yeah. So, no, they do. So, I mean, it's creeping there. I was at the grocery store grabbing game day beer and stuff, and Christmas music was blaring. A lot of people already have their trees up, their lights up, and I'm ready to sit on Santa's lap and say, Santa, all I want for Christmas is just end the Brown season right now because I am done. I know I'm not going to ask for other players. I'm just going to say, put me out of my misery here. We'll get to that. A more important note before we get to our stuff, we do have a good update. Since our last show, there had been concerning reports regarding Bernie Kosar's health, the legendary Browns quarterback. He was in good spirits all weekend, and this morning he got a liver transplant. So they're hoping things are going to start to really turn around. But he was in great spirits this morning. Even mentioned that, even though it wasn't Victory Monday, for him it was a victory. So at least that's some news in Browns camp we like to hear.
Yeah, prayers go out to Bernie.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been fighting, and he's had a smile on the entire time. And
yeah, he posted that last night. I seen he was in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
And the nurses are all in there screaming, "You can't eat nothing."
Right. But they were celebrating too because they finally got hold of a liver they could transplant. And then because there was bleeding.
He supposedly had a liver last week, but there was
issues.
It was issues with it. It was a disease or something was on it.
Right. And he was bleeding and everything, and it was a whole thing. But
I guess he's out. I was listening to one of the stations coming in here, and I guess they said he's out of surgery now, and more reports should be coming up.
Right,
so.
Right. He needs time to heal. But Bernie, we're pulling for you, and we appreciate your spirits. This has been a rough year, losing a lot of cool people as far as favorite sports athletes and pop culture star. I mean, the cool ones. Not anybody weird, but fair. We lost Ozzy Osbourne in the summer and stuff like that. So we're really hoping, and Bernie's not too old either.
61.
Yeah, I mean that's still young in today's modern day.
Yeah, they
what do you call
it? They said his age on the radio this morning. That's 61. That just seemed like I was a kid watching him.
Right.
And I'm older than him.
Right. And I see. Yeah. I mean, you still look like you could be 30.
Yeah. Right. Here.
Okay.
You need these more than I do.
Okay. But yeah, we're pulling for Bernie there, and we're very happy that he took the next step to recovery. So, on that note, there, we got to turn to high school football broadcast because we are going to do another game.
Yep.
We're going to be
the regional Division 7 Regional 14 final.
Yep. And Fifth Dimension is going to cover Mogador again. They won against East Canton 47-14. I mean, like we've been saying, Mogador is one of the most consistent Northeast Ohio programs out there.
I heard the other day there's only one other team that has been to a state championship more than them, and it's a Division I school, St. Ignatius.
That's impressive.
So, but been there. Now, they haven't won as many St. Ignatius, but they've been there that many. A lot.
Right.
So.
Right. So no, that's impressive.
That little community is football crazy.
Right. It's like St. Ignatius, the Ohio State of Northeast Ohio. Mogador is kind of like the Mount Union. It's like they don't get recognized much, but they beat everybody. They really, really do. And they're going to play what? McDonald?
Blue Devils.
There you go. And that's at Mogador?
No, that's at Nordonia High School.
Nordonia High School. So Fifth Dimension Radio will be at Nordonia High School. 6:45. Is it Friday?
Friday night.
Friday.
All the games are Friday until they get to the state championship games. Then it's a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
Right.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
I did see some
high
school games on Saturday this past weekend, so that's why I want to make sure. So 6:45 p.m. pregame, and then
7 o'clock kickoff.
7 o'clock kickoff there. So
with Ronnie Whitmer and Chris Canova.
There you go. And so I think it's cool that we're covering Mogador like that in their playoff run here.
Well, since we started doing it, I'll tell you, there's been 3 schools that really, really love us. You know, and we're going to probably do a lot more next year. We'll probably do them again because they want us back, and that's Mogador, that's Springfield, and that's Coventry.
Right.
Coventry wanted us to do some basketball games out there. That guy called me the other day, or didn't call me. He texted me and said, "Hey, have you figured out what basketball games you want to do yet?"
Right. No, that's cool. we like seeing that.
I just texted back and said, "Well, football season is going to be over. We're going to take a small break, and then we'll go into basketball season."
Probably January.
Probably January. First
Okay.
of January, we'll start. Well, we won't do a full slate of high school games.
No, probably like last year.
Yeah, we did 5. What we do last year, Bob? 5. We did 5 games last. No, we'll probably do 5. You know,
There you go.
probably the schools that we did last year because they want us back.
Right. So we'll get more update on that when we get closer to that, and of course that's not going to be till after the holidays and whatnot. But and this will be the last high school broadcast too for football this weekend.
I don't know.
I don't know. So in case it is, tune in. Okay, Mogador, McDonald, at Nordonia.
Well, you know, we'll see. It's the problem with you know, because we're an internet station, and these traditional stations going to have they have more pull to get into the press boxes at Fawcett Stadium and you know, or Tom Benson Stadium, whatever they call it. I still call it Fawcett down in Canton for the state championship game. And you know, after this game, there'll be 2 games in Canton. So, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk it over with the crew. You know, we'll see what they want to do. I mean, because like I said, you know, we got to pay.
Right. Well, we'll update you next week, but there is a game this weekend, and there it is, Mogador versus McDonald there. So looking forward to it. Hopefully it will be a good game. I know Mogador's been blowing teams out. Like we're pulling for them to win with them being the local. But
that's another thing Mogador said. We want you guys at all our games. Every time you've been here, we had a running clock. That's what they're telling us.
there you go. So
Well, you know, of course, then again, we've only had 1 game this year that did not have a running clock, and that was the very first game of the year, Waterloo and Springfield. So
there you go. So, shifting gears here, we're going to go to a pro basketball team. The Cleveland Cavaliers are now 9-5 and third in the Eastern Conference in this early season. They went 2-2 this past week. Game 1 against Miami Heat, they lost in overtime 138-140. I was very upset about that game because I watched it.
it's early. Come on.
No, they made a bonehead mistake you can never make on the court. And I don't know if you saw it, but long story short, it was an emotional game. Kenny Atkinson was ejected for arguing with calls. And so Johnny Bryant, the assistant coach, had to take over the game. And he overall did well, okay? It was his last decision which costed him. But there was a time in the game, they're down by 3. They kept rebounding, offensive rebounds and passing around, shooting, offensive rebound. Finally they give it out to Evan Mobley at 3. He puts it up and in. He called timeout before he shot it, so that would have tied it. They ended up making a 2-point a regular basket, fouling the Heat. They're down by 3 again. Donovan Mitchell made a circus 3-point shot to tie the game with .4 left on the clock. They lost because Miami threw an alley-oop to Andrew Wiggins, former first overall pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he got it up and in with and that's the one shot you can get up and in with .4 left, and they didn't guard the basket. Instead of putting all his big men in, he had them guard the perimeter. And it's like, .4, I would be guarding the basket. If they want to take a 3 with .4 and risk shooting it late, go ahead. Well, they ended up losing that game. Now here's where the kicker comes in. All right, Miami was down Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. This was their 2 best players, okay, because they played Miami again Wednesday night. Cleveland decided to rest Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland's hurt with his toe. His toe's okay, but he did get a contusion from the toe he had surgery on. So they're down Garland, Strus. Nance came back, but they were no Mobley, no Mitchell. They won. Jared Allen and the bench led the way, and they won. And they played very good, 130-116. Thursday they lost to Toronto 113 to 126. Now, to explain people, Toronto was not good last year. They had a lot of injuries, and then they did a trade deadline getting a star player that was out for the year, so he didn't get to play yet. So they had all these players get healthy, and then they had a good draft pick on top of that. So Toronto's getting back to where they want to be. They're 0-2 versus Toronto, and Toronto's playing them well. Bob, I'm afraid this is Indiana Pacers all over again. I mean, Toronto's playing well, and then Cavs are just not matching up very well against them. So, I mean, it's not that Cavs are necessarily playing bad. It's Toronto's playing, well. So, Toronto beats them there. We'll see. We got to play them 2 more times, but they're 0-2 against them already. They lost the very first game of the season was against Toronto, and then they lost Thursday there. Saturday against the Grizzlies, they fall behind even with Grizzlies star player exiting the game after the first quarter. He pulled something. He has had a nagging knee injury. And they came back, though, and won 108 to 100. So, I mean, their comeback was very impressive. The way that they moved the ball, not just three-point shots, but inside, got some good shots, and built a comeback like that. So that was all good. So your games this week, they have 4. By the time you hear this, you'll know the result of Monday's game against the Bucks, 7 p.m. on Peacock and FanDuel. They usually do very well against the Bucks.
Is it Peacock or is it Prime?
Peacock.
I heard it was Prime. Okay.
Prime might have it too, but according to this, let me see. I'll pull this up here. It's telling me Peacock and FanDuel. So, they're 1-0 versus the Bucks. Okay. Wednesday they're at home, 7 p.m. on ESPN and FanDuel. They're playing the Houston Rockets with Kevin Durant, now a member of the Houston Rockets now. And Houston's playing very well. And Houston swept Cleveland last year. So this is going to be a good one. Something to... it's going to be a challenge. It is. This is going to test them. I think they can win. I mean, the nice thing about this Cavaliers team, we can stay in confidence on their best nights. They can beat anybody. But they're going to need to bring it. Okay? Because Houston's going to come right at them. Friday night on Amazon Network, 7 p.m. They play the Indiana Pacers at home. Now, Indiana is banged up. They've been since the start of the season. Let me pull this up here in the standings here. Indiana is 1-12, Bob.
What?
Yes, because they're injured. People knew that
this is a team that went a long ways last year.
They went to the finals. They beat the Cavs and then beat New York and went to the finals. But they need to get their revenge. So Friday night, they play Indiana. This is a chance to beat up on them. Okay. And then Sunday at home. They're at home all week this week. This is great. 6 p.m. on FanDuel. They will play the Los Angeles Clippers, who are playing very good basketball right now. I watched some of the game during football, too, because we had multiple TVs on where I was at. And I saw the Clippers-Celtics game. And it was overall a good game. Celtics won. They tried to take the lead, didn't turn back, but Clippers hung in there. And like I said, Clippers got a lot of star power. James Harden had a great week this past. He looked like old James Harden. Just the production was through the roof. 20 to 30 some points, 8 to 14 assists, depending on the game. The guy was dishing the ball out and hitting shots over the place. And it's Ty Lue's team, so it's going to be heavy offense. So that it's a game they can win, but they're going to come at them. So I'm going to say if they can go at least 2-2 like they did this past week, that's good enough. Anything less, that's disappointing. I can realistically see 3-1. I would like to see 4-0. I won't rule it out. But I could see a 3-1 scenario if I were to place a bet on FanDuel, and we don't encourage betting.
No, we don't encourage no betting.
No
betting.
No, because
it's for amusement only.
Amusement only.
Yeah, amusement only.
If you were to put a bet on these games, I would say
amusement only.
Amusement only.
Yeah.
I would say they go 3-1 this coming week. The loss could go with the Rockets or the Clippers. I think they'll beat the Bucks, and I think the easiest game is going to be the Pacers just because of how things are set.
Isn't our former Zip on the Bucks? Who's he with?
No, he's with the Timberwolves.
I don't know why I keep thinking the Bucks.
He's been in the G League there, but it was not too with the Miami game. Speaking of that, because they had to bring up extra reserves because of injuries. Chris Livingston was in uniform for the first time there.
I think he got in.
Not in that one.
He got in one of the games.
One of the games, I think he did. Yeah, let me.
Like the last minute of a game or something
I think
like that.
it may have been the Raptors. Let me pull that up just in case. No, he didn't get in that one. He may not have gotten into any of them actually. Now that I'm looking,
I could have swore
he was in uniform, but he didn't get in. Because they haven't put him in. He's actually not even a starter on the G League right now either. They did have a shout out too because they played Milwaukee's G League team, and Milwaukee's got Pete Nance. So Pete Nance was guarding Chris Livingston. They said the two kids from Akron there. But I will say, as far as this Cavs team goes, right now, so far so good. They're playing well. Donovan Mitchell, because they asked him, they went 15-0 last year, the first 15 games, and he says, I like this situation better because he goes, it's forcing us to learn early. So he said, if we lose, he says it's not big. He goes, I know we can bounce back. He's confident in his team. And, he's willing to take the punches to learn now so that they can avoid these mistakes later. And the one big compliment I will give this team right now watching it play that was different from last year, they are more aggressive at getting steals and rebounds. And that was a big deal of not beating Indiana last year. They couldn't rebound. And the past playoffs, because if you remember almost 3 years ago against the Knicks, they couldn't rebound to save their life. All right, they had issues rebounding against Orlando and then against Boston too the year before, and then against the Pacers, rebounding was atrocious. Now they're going all in and rebounding, and then like if they're trying to get a drive going, they miss a shot and the other team rebounds. Some of them will smack the ball out of their hands and start and try to attempt to steal the ball. And they've been very successful there. You got Craig Porter Jr., the point guard, with averaging 3 or 4 blocks a game and having a couple steals. Playing some great defense. You got Larry Nance in there, who's been a good rebound machine. Thomas Bryant, who was with the Pacers, coming out. And that's what our depth has a lot of heart and a lot of aggression, which is great for the playoffs. Thomas Bryant gets a little more playing time, and he is scrappy under that basket. He'll get you some points, but grabbing rebounds, forcing steals, the little stuff. That's what makes this work, and that's what's been better. And that was the one thing is our offense is good. We are setting the record for most consecutive games with 10-plus threes shot and made, but the defense needed to do better. And because we did get with it when we turned to Kenny Atkinson, it was a heavier offensive system. But the defense needed to do better, and now here the defense is playing much better. Even with guys hurt, they're playing much better there. So the good news is, as far as injuries go, Garland stayed today, but he aggravated the toe, but it's not serious. They're saying, they're just making sure he doesn't overdo it. It's always his foot or the head with this guy, and that's what makes it.
I think most of it's the head.
He gets hit in the head a lot. Yeah. But Max Strus got his boot taken off. He's still a little ways to go, but they said he's already ahead of schedule. So these are little wins. Again, the little wins even off the court really help. And
like I said, I love basketball. I love college basketball. I really don't get into the pros. It's about the middle of the season. I think basketball's too long, like baseball.
Right now, since the guards are done, this is our best Cleveland team, so I'm going to take it. So that's how I'm viewing it.
The Browns, you got to remember, they play less games, so put a percentage.
They need to play even less games. we got to take a break. When we come back, Ohio State won, and unfortunately Akron did not. We will get to that and more. The wagon wheel goes back to Kent State. And then we will talk about the collegiate basketball results as well. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 10 Cent Beer Night here on FitDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
Believe it or not, Bob, we're getting closer and closer to the end of college football regular season, and bowl games will be kicking off. That's around the corner. We're about Some teams have 1 game left. Some teams have 2 as far as the regular season goes.
How many does Ohio State got?
They got a couple.
They got a couple left.
They got a couple left.
My thing is, you got the number 1 team in the country against and the number 2 team in the country are both Big Ten schools, and they're not playing each other.
No, not this year. No, they're
I mean,
not.
maybe in the playoffs, but
Maybe not, because it would be the East versus West for the the playoff, yes, but not the Big Ten championship.
no.
No, they won't play each other in the Big
Yeah,
Ten.
it'd be East versus West in that one, or no, whatever.
But you're right. They could, as long as Indiana hangs in, and both of them hang in there, that you could see them in the playoffs potentially. Okay, yeah. Ranked teams that lost this past week, everybody else won. We'll start with Friday night because there was a big upset. Clemson beat number 20 Louisville 20-19, edging them out. Clemson improved to 5-5, and Louisville dropped to 7-3. Number 24 University of South Florida lost to Navy 41-38.
They sunk their ship.
Right, Navy is 8-2 now. We're going to check the updated standings, see if they got ranked. But University of South Florida falls 7-3. So there's going to be a bowl game for these guys somewhere.
Oh, that'll be the bowl game. But ranking wise, you'll probably never see Navy, Army, Air Force in a major in the major playoff. You got to remember, half of those kids don't get scholarships.
No.
You know, they're going there. Military's paying their, and then they got service time after they graduate.
Right.
So
It'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
But I think you're right. It'd be very tough to do that. Number 9 Notre Dame beat up number 22 Pittsburgh 37-15 on Saturday. Unranked Arizona beat Cincinnati, number 25 Cincinnati 30-24. Both teams are now 7-3. For Notre Dame's 8-2 and Pittsburgh's now 7-3. By the way, other ranked teams that lost: number 21 Iowa lost to number 17 USC in a big Big Ten matchup, 26-21. Iowa is now 6-4. USC now improves to 8-2. That's another Big Ten team that's going to try to make the playoff right there. The number 4, this is the biggest upset of the week. Number 4 Alabama lost to number 11 Oklahoma down in Tuscaloosa, 23-21. Both teams are 8-2. Number 10 Texas got beat up by number 5 Georgia, 10-35. Georgia is now 9-1. People are arguing this should be the number 1 team in the nation, but Ohio State's undefeated, so there's no argument there.
You could have a little argument because I really believe that Georgia plays a little tougher schedule.
They have as of now.
Yeah.
They have.
You know,
But I mean, it is what it
is.
is.
It is what it is.
Right. Going to the Big Ten this week. Past results: Friday night, Minnesota lost. Big time to number 8 Oregon, 42-13. Oregon is now 9-1. Indiana beat Wisconsin 31-7. Indiana is 11-0. Team Up North edged out on a game-winning field goal at Northwestern, 24-22.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, and they're still 18th in the nation. They're now 8-2. Penn State finally won and beat for the first time in a while. Beat Michigan State 28-10. They're 4-6. Did not think at this time of the year I would say that.
I thought Penn State beat like in top 5. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, at this time earlier this season. Yeah, everything that happened. You know.
Well, they fired their coach in the mid. Right.
And quarterback got hurt. Yeah, I told you about the Iowa USC game. Illinois beat Maryland 24-6. Illinois is now 7-3. Washington beat up Purdue 49-13. Washington is now 7-3. Ohio State beat up UCLA 48-10, and Ohio State is 10-0. For Week 13, no weekday games in the Big Ten. Noon on Fox, Rutgers at number 1 Ohio State, and Ohio State's heavily favored there.
Oh yeah.
Noon on Big Ten Network, Minnesota at Northwestern. Northwestern is favored there. 3:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, Michigan State at number 21 Iowa, and Iowa is favored. 3:30 p.m. on CBS. This is going to be a good one. Number 17 USC at number 8 Oregon. Oregon is favored in that one, but I think that's going to be a great matchup there. Could be your game of the week. 4 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Number 18 Team Up North at Maryland. And by the way, these are the last games until we get the big rival game for both Ohio State and Team Up North. So
we need to beat them.
Right. We'll
Well,
get to that next week.
I mean, we lost, what, 4 in a row?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
It's been
like that.
crazy, yeah. 7 p.m. on NBC, Nebraska at Penn State. Penn State's actually favored here, and that surprises me. I would think Nebraska would be. I say, if you're going to put a bet, take Nebraska. 7:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network, Illinois at Wisconsin. Illinois is favored. 10:30 p.m. on NBC, Washington at UCLA, and Washington is favored there.
That'd be a big favorite.
Switching gears to the Mid-American Conference this past
Well,
week.
we were there.
We were there. Yeah, this was the first game last Tuesday, the Wagon Wheel game. You left early. They almost pulled it off.
Well, every time I leave, they come back.
Right. Akron was down 35 to
Oh, 17?
17, yeah. And in the fourth quarter, stormed back, tied it up, went to overtime. But they let Kent State score a touchdown on their first play, and Akron could not follow it up. Kent State wins the Wagon Wheel. They improved to 4-6. Akron falls to 4-7. And Bob, potentially at the end of this week, you might see a move for Akron, because I think that may have cost Moorhead his job.
I think it cost. I didn't think he's coming back, even if you would beat Kent State.
See, if he beat Kent State and beat Bowling Green,
I
would have won the appeal to get a bowl game. I think he would have been safe.
No,
But-
I don't. I think he's gone.
I think
Personally, that's my opinion. But
this, no, and I mean, 'cause this is our other team here. I will mention this was like the 4th or 5th game they should have won, had a chance to win, and
well,
they had enough to win.
they could be 7-5, 7-4 right now. There's teams
They could be 9.
Well, I'm gonna give them a little.
Yeah.
We could beat Wyoming if it wasn't for that touchdown, that interception, and
Right.
he threw it right to the guy. I mean, there was nobody there but
Right,
the other
right.
team.
Right.
He
He's
threw it
done that
right
a
to
couple
him.
times, yeah. And he's overall had a good season outside that, but and then you talk about UAB, they had a chance there.
Oh, it's 28-26 or something like that.
Right. Miami, that was a big opportunity. That was the one Moorhead was more mad about, but the Wagon Wheel returns to Kent State for the first time in 4 years.
We'll get it back.
Yeah, I do believe. Hopefully.
We'll get it back on January 18th.
Oh, that one. No, this is a different one. This is the
Yeah,
football Wagon Wheel. Okay.
I know.
Your other scores in the MAC: Ohio got upset by Western Michigan, 17-13 at Western Michigan. Both teams are now 6-4. So now Western Michigan and Ohio will be bowl eligible with 6 wins already. Going to Wednesday night's matchups, Buffalo got beat up by Central Michigan 38-19. That is Central Michigan's 6th win, so they will be bowl eligible now. Northern Illinois destroyed UMass 45-3. Northern Illinois is 3-7.
Our new team get killed, and the team leaving us murdered them.
Right.
So that was a win for them going out.
Northern Illinois is 3-7. UMass 0-10. Okay.
Yeah, welcome to the MAC.
Toledo at Miami of Ohio. Toledo won 24-3. That Toledo is now 6-4, and as their 6th win, they are now bowl eligible. And then Saturday, we did have a Saturday game there. Eastern Michigan beat Ball State 24-9, and Eastern Michigan is now 4-7. So we go into week 13 here, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday games. So here's what we have on the table, on the board, whatever you want to say. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on ESPNU, Akron at Bowling Green. Bowling Green is slightly favored by about 3 points here. And I think if Akron plays the way they play against Kent State, Bowling Green could win. I mean, they gave up the big play. That was the problem. They gave the big play one too many times. Yeah, they won too many times. Offense overall played great in that game against Kent State, but like the defense they played well in some possessions and they played horrible in others. We'll see if this is Akron's last game of the season. We'll see how Moorhead ends, and we'll see if there's going to be a move made. 7 p.m. on CBS Network, UMass at Ohio U. Ohio U is favored by 32.5 points. So they're looking for destruction there. 7 p.m. on ESPN2, Western Michigan at Northern Illinois. Western Michigan is predicted to win, and I'm hoping Western Michigan sends it Northern Illinois with a loss, because I think that'll be their last game in the MAC there. Wednesday, November 19th, 7 p.m. ESPN2. Miami of Ohio at Buffalo. Buffalo is slightly favored and predicted to have snow. 7 p.m. on ESPNU, we go to Dick Stadium at Central Michigan at Kent State. Central Michigan is favored.
Buffalo has snow?
Buffalo might have snow.
Might. That's Buffalo. They get snow no matter what.
I know.
It snows there in the summertime.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Saturday, November 22nd, 2 p.m. ESPN Plus, Ball State at Toledo. Toledo is heavily favored there. So there you go. So standings in. We'll do
I don't know if they have standings anymore.
for the MAC. I was gonna pull up the MAC standings there. Conference wise, Western Michigan's 5-1. They're the best in the conference right now. Central Michigan's 4-2 and tied with Ohio and Toledo and Buffalo and Miami, Ohio there. So as far as the MAC championship goes, it sounds like it could be Western Michigan versus any of those. So it's kind of a toss up. Akron's in the middle of the road there. They would.
Well, I think they equaled their total so far.
Right. Well, and this is where it gets interesting, Bob. Had they won against Kent State this past week and beat Bowling Green, they would have been in the conversation of the MAC championship. Because if Western Michigan loses and any of the rest win, that everybody's tied at 5-2. So if Akron would have been
Well, go with the tiebreaker.
5-3, if they would have won, because again, some of these teams still have to play another game. They would have been in the conversation. Yeah. So I mean, this was a big loss.
Even if it was in the conversation, they were still not going to the MAC championship game.
They could have appealed if they're eligible.
I don't think they would have won.
Maybe they would have made it, but we're not going to know because this
Yeah,
loss to Kent State
we
was
ain't going to know now, but I don't. I really believe because the NCAA is a controller.
You lost to an interim coach to a team that was ranked much lower than you nationally. That's and you know
Well,
at home.
Not much lower.
I know.
Because in the of the 144 Division I schools, UMass was last at 144. Kent State was 138. Akron was 136. Not much lower.
Right. As far as your top 25 rankings go, some of the things that changed, Georgia moves up to number 4 after Bama's loss. Bama went down to 10, and Oklahoma went up to 8 after that game there. Any other big changes? Texas dropped from 10 to 17. That was a big drop there. James Madison went to 24 to 21. North Texas went from unranked 28 to 22.
Who was that? James Madison.
James Madison, yeah, they're having a good football season.
Oh, yeah, we're talking football. Okay.
Yeah. Basketball, they've already lost to Akron, so we don't have to worry about that. Missouri, unranked 27, is now 23rd. Tulane, that was unranked at 26, is now 24th. And Houston, that was unranked at 30, is now 25. Navy just missed making it. I told you about Navy potentially making the cut there. They just missed it. So maybe next week, Navy, Illinois, and Southern Mississippi were the ones that just missed the cut there this week. So, yeah, your top 5, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
Well, either way, Navy and Army, no matter what their records are, will be in a bowl game because they play in the Armed Forces Bowl, especially the Army-Navy game. But they do have an Armed Forces Bowl and they play that game is played at Fenway Park in Boston.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Switching gears now to basketball, we're going to just talk about our teams because we only have enough time for that. And it's still a young season, so the rankings and all that all changed there. Akron went 1-1 this past week. They beat Penn State Shenango 109 to 51.
Blew them out.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game. They lost to number 2 Purdue yesterday, 79 to 97.
And I'm gonna tell you what, there was times that Akron looked good.
Right.
You got they had a couple mental mistakes, and there was a lot of fouls that didn't look like fouls to me on television.
They blew their whistle a lot.
They blew. Akron had 11 fouls before Purdue had their first one.
Right. It makes you wonder a little
It
bit.
makes you
And
wonder.
I will say Purdue was more, just bigger and better under the basket.
Well, they had
That's
7'4" guy in the center.
Yeah, yeah. They had just an absolute talented.
But I
center
really
there.
believe they played good, and if they play like that against the MAC, they'll dominate the
Well,
MAC.
and that's my attitude with this. Is these are the games I want them to play. Okay, all right.
Well, they got to play. They got to play them. You can look at James Madison, who they beat the first week. First week.
Yeah.
James Madison made the NCAA tournament last year. They're predicted to win that's the whatever
Sun Belt,
Sun Belt conference this year, and Akron beat them up pretty good.
Yeah, they played them very well. That's a team that's consistently in the big tournament, so that was a good win. Like that, but that's the point I'm trying to make is, I rather them see. I don't know. They played James Madison and Princeton, who were very good. And for the record, bringing this up, Princeton lost to Kansas. Kansas sat their starters though and play. Their reserves only played okay against Princeton. They did not beat them up, okay, like Akron did. Okay, Akron beat them up 104-69. Okay, so that was a good look for Akron with their starters play. And you understand, Kansas reserves are still very good. That's still potential NBA prospects that have come up that haven't made the starting lineup and come up later. But these are still highly ranked prospects that did not play as well as Akron did against Princeton, okay? But here's what the point I'm trying to make. These are the matchups I want to see them play every year, okay? Because even if they lose, they learn a lot, and it prepares them for the MAC, and then the big tournament when it comes, because it's like we've already played teams like this. What do we do different where we can actually win this one? And see, because here's an example about Penn State, Shenandoah. All due respect to those players and that coach and all that, Akron has no business playing that team.
No, but
It doesn't do anything for it. Doesn't.
But they all do. Ohio State played a couple rags too, man.
Before people know on here real quick because I know we're about out of time. Before I attended Kent State, I attended Indiana Tech, WHAC school, Division III. They played these exact teams, these branch campus teams, all the time. I gotta take this call. When we come back, we're gonna talk NFL and finish up basketball. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the show there. Thank you for your patience as my work phone rang while we were on air there. But it was the end of time, in my defense. It was time to take a break, get the third segment going here. I'm Seth, that's Bob. This is our last segment of today's 10 Cent Beer Night for our second to last show in November. Hard to believe. We were talking basketball. We were talking about the Zips and everything. But at the end, I think these tougher opponents are better for their schedule there. This week's schedule, real quick, games. They only have one game, and that's...
No, they got 2 games. Akron's got 2 games.
No, Akron's got one.
You sure they're in
The 21st
They're in,
at Iona.
They're playing down in. They're going Friday. They're playing in the.
They're playing at home.
You sure?
ESPN Plus, 5:30 p.m. Yeah, they're playing Iona.
I'm gonna look right now, man. I'm gonna look right now. No, on. They're not home until the home tickets. The next home game is. Let me see here.
While he's looking at that, Ohio State.
The 29th, they're playing Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's next week. They play Iona. It's right here.
They're in because Friday they're in the Bahamas.
Friday they're in the Bahamas. Well, they got it wrong. They might be the home team, but they're playing Iona.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they might be scheduled as the home team. So yeah, I mean, so a CBS app has got it a little bit wrong there, but they're playing Friday. Okay, they're playing Friday, and so you're saying if depending on how that game ends up going, they might play another game.
Yeah.
After that, so they're in the Bahamas Friday. It doesn't say that on this app. But they're playing Iona in the Bahamas in a special early season tournament there. So something to look out for. Ohio State this past week, they beat Appalachian State on Tuesday the 11th, 75-53. And then on Sunday, they played Notre Dame, a rematch of the football championship, but this is basketball. And Notre Dame misses the game-winning shot. Ohio State wins 64-63 there. And then this week's games for Ohio State, just one game Thursday, November 20th. And Bob, they play our good old foes of Western Michigan. They're playing a MAC school, so there you go. That'll be on Big Ten Network at 8 p.m. And Ohio State is 4-0 to start the season there, so that's always good. You know, this isn't the football team, so the basketball team always does solid, but they do tend to lose to certain opponents. But so far, so good. You know, and again, like we said with Akron, their loss to Purdue, not the biggest deal. A lot of good came out of that one there. So, shifting gears to the NFL real quick. As far as the Browns go, shame on them. You know, Bernie Kosar's in the hospital dealing with health issues, and you serve him an embarrassing loss to Art Modell's Baltimore Ravens. And yes, I still, even with the guy gone, I still call them Art's Ravens, okay? They'll always be viewed as, not the old Browns, they're viewed as Art's Ravens, okay? Lamar Jackson, for the first time in his career, threw no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But to get the lead, they had a quarterback sneak by the tight end that ran for 30 yards and a touchdown. Okay? Shadur Sanders makes his debut because Dylan Gabriel suffered a concussion because, again, the offensive line could not guard. So they slammed him, and he hit his head, the front of his head, the front of his helmet. And Shadur had to come out. I gave him a C grade, and here's why. I thought some of his throws were actually dead on and good, the good ones, okay? The interceptions what hurt his grade. Fortunately, the Browns intercepted it back, but it was a bad play. The O-line did not do much for him. He did well on his feet. There was one play in particular, Bob, he could have got, if it was Dylan Gabriel, he would have been sacked, but Shadur's ability to move out of the pocket, he was able to avoid the sack. And it was just an overall good look and a good play. He did get on his feet some, which that's part of his game. That's what he has to do, and especially with this O-line letting everybody and their mom through. This O-line is, though, terrible. I think you're going to look at a whole new O-line going into next year. I think Bitonio is going to retire. He's the only one. He'll probably go to another Pro Bowl. He's the only one playing very well right now. You know, I don't think this O-line coach has been doing as good as they were hoping. And here's my big thing, Bob.
I'm going to tell you what. This season's over. They're going to clean house. They're cleaning house.
A few years ago, we're backing up to 2021, so a little more than a few years. Kevin Stefanski made the comment, your backup quarterback should always be ready, regardless. And he was referring to Case Keenum getting first-team snaps while Baker had a shoulder injury, and they ended up telling Baker, hey, you're going to not play this week. This was a Thursday night game against the Broncos. They said, you're not going to play. We're going to give Keenum the rest of the first-team snaps, and we're going to prepare him for the game. We want you to rest, okay? They ended up winning that game, but he always talks about Keenum always having first-team reps because your backup quarterback, right? But, like, you understand, your backup quarterback's got to be ready no matter what.
But Sanders never had that opportunity.
Absolutely right.
I mean, when he played in the exhibition games, it was against their second and third
It's not just that, Bob. He's never played with the first-team offense in practice. Not even to prepare.
Well,
when the season first began and Flacco was the starter.
I know you're a big Stefanski fan, but he needs
I'm
to
not
go.
a big Stefanski fan. I've called for his ass to get out.
I think Barry needs to go too myself.
You know, I got mixed feelings about it. I'm down for Barry being promoted to president and getting a new GM that evaluates players better and Barry handling all the money in the picks. Because he's good at that. He's very good. He's one of the best at that. But I'm down bringing in a GM that knows football players better and promote. It'd be a win-win. It would. But no, Stefanski's got to go. I'm bringing up these statistics real quick. But when finishing what I was saying, when Joe Flacco was the starter, okay, Dylan Gabriel was getting first-team reps because they said in case something happens to Joe, Dylan was ready. He did not do that with Shedeur at all. He has not done that since Joe's been traded. They came unprepared. It's called being unprepared. Is what
and poor Joe. Said defense is horrible. I mean, offense is horrible.
Offensive line's bad. Yeah,
it might be worse than Cleveland's.
Offensive line is Their receivers are very good, but their and their run game's not that good either.
I mean, you got this old guy back there trying to get out of everybody's way.
Right.
I mean, everybody's coming at him.
Right. I actually don't have the source where I got this. This is legit. Okay. This is for people trying to defend Kevin Stefanski being the offensive guru. Here's some stats for you. Okay. In 11 games before Joe Flacco came in and was chucking the ball over the field. This is for 2023, okay? Before Joe Flacco saved the day. They were 27th in yards per game, passing yards per game. 4th in rushing. That's when Jerome Ford was playing pretty well, filling in for Nick Chubb and everything. Total yards per game, they were 22nd, and points per game, they were 15th. Okay, that all changes when Joe Flacco comes in and bails him out. Okay, and we know that was a fun run. His first season in 2020. Remember, 2020, he went to the playoffs. It was a good look. Now, he didn't coach the game they won in the playoffs, but 2020 was an absolute fun season. Passing yards per game, Baker Mayfield on his best season with the Browns, 24th in the league still. Okay? So that was 24th. Rushing yards per game, it was Nick Chubb, 3rd in the league. Okay? So rushing was still working well. Total yards per game, 16th. Okay? Didn't crack the top 10. Points per game, 14th in the league. When he was hired by Dee Podesta, who just left us for the Colorado Rockies, they brought up Vikings are in the top 10, if not the top 5 in every offensive category, and have moved up slightly when he was O-coordinator. He has never had a top 10 offense. Tell me why we should keep him. Yeah. They are 26 now since the beginning of 24, the 24th season.
Yeah, there's going to be some changes.
The media asked, and I'm not a fan of the Browns media.
They'll be winners when they get over to Brook Park.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, because the new stadium's going to, they're going to make them winners. Get a winning team before you decide to move.
Tickets were $6 yesterday.
Yeah.
In most seats.
You could have got a ticket for $6.
Their hot dogs were more than their tickets. No joke. I'm not even joking. Their beers.
I did see that. But they were the nosebleeds, but $6.
They were still $6. No NFL team should have $6 tickets. You play only 7 or 8 home games a year.
But when they get to Brook Park, the nosebleeds are $250.
You can pay for those.
$250.
You can pay.
Be a cold day in heck.
Yeah, it won't be a cold stadium.
I won't say hell, but it's cold day in heck.
You said other things on here though.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I never said
this
nothing.
is a mess. I'll defend Shedeur. I think they came unprepared. I think he could have. He did admit he didn't play very well. He wishes he would have played better. He's beating himself up. He's being honest, okay? But in his defense, his coach never gave him first team reps, and that's called being unprepared. It is. It's you unprepared this team, and then you're trying to make a case about like if this guy's legitimate. We don't know because you didn't give him enough to work with right now. Okay.
I'm tired of Stefanski saying at these news conferences afterwards, we just got to get better.
Well, we've heard that
every week. Every week. We just got to get better.
Every Browns coach that didn't pan out had a saying they repeated near the end, like repeatedly the same thing over and over. This says we got to review the tape or we just got to get better. And it's just the media. I was bringing up the media. They asked him a question about like getting Shedeur in there and playing and everything, and he said yes.
Did you?
That's all he said.
But he also said today that if
Gabriel.
Gabriel's ready next week, he will be the starter.
I expected that, Well, and I'll tell you, before he got hurt, I wasn't cheering for him to be hurt.
You're 2-8 or 2, whatever you are. Put the kid in there.
He's balancing rookies, and Shedeur's going to get another chance. He will. But the thing is, Gabriel was not playing well before he got hurt. I mean, there was one play. He looked like a college quarterback. He looked at the receiver the entire time. They knew who he was going to throw to. He didn't evaluate the field, try to make it less obvious, like pro quarterbacks do, and then hit the guy he wanted.
He probably didn't see the guy because he's still small.
He looked directly at the guy he was going to throw to the entire time. The defense shifted, and he made it obvious. It was Jerry Jeudy. He was looking for Jeudy in the end zone, and he looked at him the entire time. And it's like, okay, this isn't college. The defense is going to shit, and they have 3 guys got on him. It was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, we still got Myles Garrett though.
Yeah, and he's unhappy. He had 4 sacks yesterday.
Because he thought things were going to change around when he re-signed that contract.
So did I.
And I'm going to tell you what. If I was him, I'd be asked for a trade. I want to go somewhere that I got a chance to win a Super Bowl.
With the money and everything, it's tough. It's
I know.
a big complicated cat.
You got a guy now 5 straight years, 13 sacks or more, just set the record.
Yeah.
Broke the record for,
Yeah, he beat.
not even C.J. Watt or whatever his name has done that, and everybody
T.J.
thinks.
Watt. No, Watt's had a bad season. He
hasn't had five years
right
in a
now,
row.
Miles is the clear favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. He's running away with it. I mean, I don't even know if there's a debate right now. I mean, he might be the first guy to get it and have a 2-win team.
He sacked Jackson 4 times.
Right.
4 times.
Right.
And Jackson can fly.
He can. We don't know the result to the Dallas Las Vegas game.
Was it 3,
That's
5, and
tonight.
1 against 2 and 7 or something like that?
Yeah, it's a mess. And I think you picked Vegas. I think I picked Dallas.
Yeah, I think so.
But we don't know the result of that, so I'm just letting you know. Week 12 picks. We only got so much time. So bye weeks for Week 12: Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Chargers, Washington Commanders, and Miami Dolphins are all on bye week for Week 12. Thursday, November 20th, 8:15 p.m. Amazon Network. Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Buffalo is favored by 5 here. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going to take Buffalo.
I'm going to take Buffalo, too. Houston did not play well against Tennessee yesterday. Buffalo, Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing. So there you go. November 23rd, 1 p.m. on CBS. The New York Jets at the Baltimore Ravens. Former Cleveland Brown Tyrod Taylor has been called the Jets' starting quarterback for this game. Baltimore favored by 13.5. Bob, what do you think?
Jets has been playing better, but I'm going with Baltimore. Baltimore's going for 5 in a row.
Baltimore's the better team right here. Jets need some work, but Jets are getting better, like Bob said.
They are getting better.
They're better than the Browns. So I'm gonna.
They beat the Browns.
They beat the Browns. So Baltimore, I don't like you, but I'm going to give you the win. 1 p.m. on CBS, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers goes down with an injury in this win against the Bengals, so maybe Mason Rudolph starts. But this is in Chicago against the Bears. Bears favored by 3. Bob, what do you think?
I'll go with the Bears.
You go with the Bears.
I'll go with the Bears.
Caleb Williams, help me out here. I don't like those Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm picking you. And I will say 3 points is legit.
Well, I'll tell you, Rudolph had a great game.
He had a decent game.
Considering,
Yeah, but Bears had a solid game yesterday, too. I came back and won and beat the Vikings. So I'm going with the Bears, too. 1 p.m. on CBS, we have Mike Vrabel's New England Patriots versus Joe Flacco's Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. New England favored by 7. Bob, what do you think?
New England.
Yeah, New England's playing very well.
Yeah, but Cincinnati has no offensive line.
New England's 9-2. They won this past Thursday night game, so I'm gonna go with New England as well. 1 p.m. on Fox, the New York Giants, who almost pulled off a win yesterday against Green Bay, are going up against the Detroit Lions. Lions are 10.5-point favorites. What do you think, Bob?
Lions.
Lions are gonna roll. I'll even say Lions by 20. I'm that confident. 1 p.m. on Fox, a great rival matchup here. Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota coming off a loss, Green Bay coming off a win. What do you think, Bob?
And that's in Green Bay?
Yep, it's in Lambeau. Green Bay's favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay since it's a Green. If it was in Minnesota, I might take Minnesota.
Jaden McCarthy's just not playing that well. Green Bay all the way. 1 p.m. on CBS, the Indianapolis Colts at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 3.5 points. They came back and beat Denver yesterday. Colts had a bye week. What do you think, Bob?
I'll go Kansas City.
He's going Kansas City. Jonathan Taylor's the early favorite for MVP. I take Colts in the upset. Give me Colts by 3. I like the Colts here. 1 p.m. on Fox, Bob. Seattle Mariners.
Mariners.
They did just sign Josh Taylor to a long deal.
Did they really?
Yeah, Josh Naylor, excuse me, not Josh. So he's not coming back to Cleveland, Bob. Sorry. But Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans. Seattle's favored by 13, Bob. What do you think?
Seattle.
Seattle had a bad game yesterday, but they're going to beat up the Titans. Give me Seattle by 20. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Arizona Cardinals. Jacksonville favored by 2.5 points. What do you think, Bob?
I'm going to go with Cardinals.
He's going Cardinals.
Being Arizona.
Arizona's falling off the map to me. Jaguars are getting better and better. Give me the Jags by 7 here. I do think it'll be a good game there. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas says Vegas by 3. What do you think, Bob?
I'm going with Vegas.
There you go. 24-23, Vegas beats the Browns and can come back win. but we have to wait till 4 o'clock to see that massacre. But yeah, like this past week. 4:25 p.m. on Fox, Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. Bob, what do you think?
Philadelphia.
I'm going Philly too, and I think they're going to beat them up. 4:25 p.m. on Fox, Atlanta Falcons at New Orleans Saints. Atlanta turned to Kirk Cousins after Penix goes on IR. New Orleans favored by 1, Bob. Is New Orleans going to do it?
No, Atlanta's going to do it.
Atlanta's going to do it. I'm going to go New Orleans. My gut's saying roll the dice here because Atlanta's just not playing well of late. And New Orleans, they're scrappy at least. They're not one of the better teams, but they're scrappy. 8:20 p.m. NBC, waiting all day for a Sunday night. You got Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles favored by 6.5. What do you think, Bob?
Well, you know me. I'm going with Baker.
He's going with Baker.
I'm going with Tampa.
The Rams have played a little bit better. They're at home. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think it's going to be a good Sunday night game. I say 6 points is legit. And then next Monday, this is an underrated matchup here, Bob. Monday, November 24th, 8:15 p.m. ESPN. Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy's back, and he looked good yesterday. The Niners are favored by 6. What do you think?
Carolina's playing good, though.
They are. They're playing very good.
I'm going to take Carolina.
He's going to take Carolina. I'll take Niners by 3, but I think this is going to be a very good game, and I think the nation's going to see Carolina's improvement. So, no, I'm sold Carolina's going the right direction. They're playing good football.
They're definitely going farther than Cleveland's going.
Oh, yes, they are. So we got to take a break. We got to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, we'll talk about the Browns, but more importantly, we'll talk about the team up north versus Ohio State football.
First of all, I got a medical procedure next Monday, so I might be able to do it Tuesday if you want to come. We'll
talk it. If he's not there, I'll be here. But best of luck on your procedure, Bob. You know that. So just let us know.
It's rough when you get old.
I get it. So we're our prayers and best wishes are to Bob and Bernie right now. As they're having surgery, and anybody having surgery for that matter, whether you're an athlete or not.
Not really a surgery, I guess. Just I don't want to say.
Yeah, you don't want no. But we'll talk about the Cavs. We'll talk about the Zips, Buckeyes football and basketball, that and much more. And then Mogador, we'll see what happens in their game this past week. Don't forget, pregame 6:45 p.m. this Friday, kickoff at 7 p.m. for Mogador.
And you can hear it all right on Fifth Dimension Radio.
Yep, correct. So I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
Let's go Cavs.
Let's go Zips Soccer.
Yes.